Schkeit. Good day. It's Kikia Joyce Schneider here, sharing one more of the very helpful rules of the Ucwalmícwts language as gathered from the Ucwalmícwts Advanced Curriculum book created by Tazil Publishing House in 1981. So this booklet is 7A, covering lessons around using ki and e, which is on pages 35 and 36 in the noted curriculum. At this point in the advanced curriculum, we have learned to use the articles T and A. We've learned how and when to use those, but our beautiful language has more than these two articles. In this lesson, we cover others and see in which situations they are used. All articles except the last two discussed have A after the word they proceed. Ki is used when we talk about a bunch of things together. For example, compare the following. Washkan luchluchal kish kakuchuja. I am putting on luchluchal beads shkakush. Washkan luchluchwin ish kakuchja. I am putting on luchwin the beads shkakush. Here are a couple of more examples. Try comparing the following. Wakahal ki makolsha. She is drying kahal, huckleberries, makolsha. And wa kahanash I makolsha. She is drying kahal, her huckleberries, makolsh. So if you are like me, you may be wondering, okay, what is the difference and how does the use of ki and e change the context of the statements that we're making? So I'll go back over these. If we look at the use of ki in the first sentence and the use of e in the second. In the first one, we have Washkan luchal ki shkakuja. I am putting on beads. So in that example, we used ki because we don't know how many beads there are. It's representing, remember, a lot of things, a number of things together. But in this case, we don't know how many beads are going to be needed or put on. And the other one, they use E to demonstrate that there is a set number of beads. Maybe we can see them or there's a packet. And so we know how many beads exactly are going on. So then you use E. So when the amount is unknown, you use ki. And when the amount is known, but there's still a lot of them, we use E. Because if we just said T, shkakuja, it would be the bead. That's a lesson from before. So walkan luchal ki shkakuja, unknown amount of beads, I am putting on beads. And walkan luchen I shkakuja. So using E saying I am putting on the beads. So that little shift between ki and E tells us it's an unknown amount, but a lot, or it's a known amount, a lot of something. So we'll take a look at the second example, applying this understanding of when to use ki and e when we're talking about more than one thing. So wa kahal ki makolsha, she is drying huckleberries. So it could be she's just drying huckleberries. It could be people are bringing more. We don't know how many, but she's not drying one huckleberry. So wa kahal ki makolja. And if we want to demonstrate that she's got a bucket of huckleberries on the counter, those are the huckleberries she's going to dry, we will use E because we know the amount. We can see how many are going to be dried. So wa kahanash I makolsha. She is drying her huckleberries. So hopefully that helps distinguish between when to use ki for multiple objects and when to use E for multiple objects. From here, lesson 25 goes on to make sure we note that when we use ki, we often use a single action word like luchal and kakahal, while in sentences with E, we normally use a double action word like luchen and kachen. And we still need to learn more about exactly what that means. So when using the elements l, which means in, on, at, or with, chlel, which is from or of, a, toward, and ken, which means around, we always have ki and never e. So if we say Ucwalmícwts, we're saying the Ucwalmícw people. And again, remember, E makes that plural. It's not one person. If we said Ti Ucwalmícwts, it would be one Ucwalmícw person. Then we looked at the next example, which is Ilki Ucwalmícwts, and that means with the Ucwalmícw people. And Tlelki Ucwalmícwts, from the Ucwalmícw people. So those elements get attached at the beginning of ki to provide that contextual information, whether it's with, from, toward, around, etc. So the words tlelki, aki, and kinki have no stressed vowels and are pronounced as if part of the following attached word. So reminder, ol equals with, in, on, at, tlel, from or of, a, toward, and kin, around. All are only followed by ki, never e. And if you write them down with the e, you can see it would even be difficult to say. So lel, cleli, e, and can e. But anyways, they only follow ki. And I recommend with all the lessons to pause and go onto the First Voices website and look for examples of words that have hlelki, eki, kinki, etc., and practice them to help the teaching stick. Nishti. That's it. That's all for lesson 25 from the Ucwalmícwts curriculum for advanced learners. Like I mentioned on the previous page, to go and look for examples of each of the rules that we share in these booklets and find examples. And that really helps us to keep these little but mighty rules straight and working for us in our language acquisition. I raise my hands, we raise our hands to the First Peoples Cultural Council for providing the funding for our Samahquamicw Blended Immersion program, to the Ucwalmícw All Nation Services Society, who provide invaluable administrative support, keeping our program running, and very grateful to all of the contributors to the advanced curriculum book that we're building lessons on. Lorna Williams, Marie Joseph Abraham, Gordon Turner, Sam Mitchell, Bill Edwards, Marie Leo, Rosie Joseph, Joe Joseph, Charles Max Seymour, Baptiste Ritchie, Ernie Pascal, Martina La Rochelle, and the Tazil House of Learning, or the Tazil Publishing Center, for this work. Takaman Shnuknukwa, all my relations, and Amakwishwaju, be well.